Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's get this comment pinned right here. And we are good. We are live right now. Hello, everyone. This is Astrology Saturday with your host with the most, Chad the Maverick. Now, we come on live stream every Saturday to break down the astrology of the week. For y'all that have been showing up, we are now just continuing every single week, letting you know what's going on throughout this time frame so you can get in tune with the energies, tapped into the energies, and so you know what's going to be happening in the sky as these days progress. So once more, this is going to be a very critical week. The reason why this week is going to be so critical is because this week right here is going to be the road upcoming to the new moon in Libra, right? So the new moon in Libra is going to be occurring this Friday. So this whole entire live stream, please stay tuned. I'm going to be breaking down everything that's happening going into this Friday, into this road to the new moon. And new moons are always meant for new beginnings, new creations, new manifestations. So one thing I also need to point out to y'all is that if you haven't been to a house of intuition yet, please go in, grab you a new moon candle. New moon and Libra candle. The new moon candles are always great. They're always on point as far as what you're trying to bring into the manifestation. And so I highly suggest that you go in and grab that. Will this live be saved? Yes, this live will be saved as well on HOI's page, and you'll be able to check it out anytime throughout the week. But if you're here, be sure that you're here, take some notes down. And before we get started with the astrology, I do want to make a couple announcements as far as what's going on with House of Intuition, right? So if you haven't known, House of Intuition is having a slew of classes from all these different practitioners as far as everything metaphysics is concerned. Me, being the astrology teacher, we have Patty as well, who teaches Old World Magic every Thursday, and we have Ryan on Sundays, who teaches Practical Magic as well. So Old World Magic, Practical Magic, and I'm teaching the astrology. Also, be sure to check out Bree's Crystal Talk live stream every Thursday as well. She goes live on House of Intuition's page as well. So be sure to check all of those things out. For anyone who's looking for me, who I am, my services, you can check me out. It's Chad the Maverick. ChadTheMaverick.com is my website if you want to go check that out as well. I do hold services and consultations breaking down your personal astrology as far as everything on the energies are concerned, so you can learn your own chart and you can know how to manifest better. And not only that, we have 2 classes that are going to be coming up as well. So on the 12th, right, this upcoming Monday, we're going to be having a class on this Mercury retrograde. Yes, Mercury retrograde is here. So, breaking down the class on Mercury retrograde, I'm going to be basically breaking down a survival guide on how you can go about it, right? It's only $10 Zoom class. Check out the website. All the classes will be listed right there. Now, if you're interested in the new moon class, right, I'm also having a class on the day of the new moon about how you can best manifest with this new moon energy that's going to be coming through. So feel free to please check that out. Check out the website, grab the Mercury retrograde candle, grab the new moon and Libra candle as well, and we'll just get things rolling. So now that that is said and done, let's get into the astrology of this upcoming week, right? So what's been happening in the sky? What's been going on? What has been happening as far as everything is concerned? One major thing that has happened recently, right, is that Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn have all gone direct. So what this essentially means is that basically the best way to put this is that since essentially when quarantine started, we've been kind of getting bullied as a collective by this like heavy Capricorn energy about like making and shifting what's been going on as far as like our whole society is concerned, how businesses run, politics, everything along the lines of that have been very much on the forefront since this retrograde motion happened with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in Capricorn earlier on this year, right? So this time, right, we're going to have this going direct. And so now that this is going direct, this whole period of things kind of being up in the air, things kind of like not knowing or having a solid foundation, a solid ground, we've reached a new level of transformation as a collective as far as how we're going to be pushing forward and implementing those different changes, how we're going to be pushing forward and implementing the new renditions of us that we've worked on this whole entire 2020 so far. So once more, with Pluto going direct specifically, right? We've now reached a new, almost like metamorphosis of who we were at the beginning of the year. Everyone as a collective has reached a new level of metamorphosis. They are starting to shine more as themselves. And that's really what's coming through as far as like that Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all going direct, right? Now, one thing I do need to mention as well is that not only that, but let's talk about today, right? Let's talk about today. So today we have the Venus in Virgo, right? Making its trine over to Uranus and Taurus. So what this essentially means is that the way that we see and view our practical world is now going to be being put under a new shift, a newfound shift, almost a newfound epiphany in a sense, right? So this epiphany is going to be coming through about how you can end up relating to the world around. You're so right, I'm not a shy Virgo anymore. Right. So Venus and Virgo with the Uranus and Uranus and Taurus is shaking and shifting this reality. Uranus and Taurus is the reason why a lot of different health things have been happening, different shifts in health, different shifts in how people are approaching health, beauty, etc. All of those things are going to be because of Uranus and Taurus that has been going on for this past year. Now, with Venus making its trine here, once more, people are now developing a new sense of how can they best relate to people on a practical level. How will this best relate to people on a deeper level, right? So that's the way that that's going to be going as far as that's concerned. Now, the moon is making its shift over into Leo today as well. So by the end of today, the moon's going to be going into Leo. What this is also going to be doing and what this is pushing forward is how are we going to best be moving through our heart space? How are we going to best be pushing forward towards our passions based off of everything else that I just mentioned, right? There's a whole new transformation. How can we best tap into our hearts? How can we best tap into our inner fervor and push things forward? So that's the way that happens. For anyone who is a Venus in Virgo, happy Venus return. It's basically the birthday of your Venus. It's like the birthday season of your specific Venus. Feel free to check out all my astrology classes that I'm going to be doing, at least for sure, every Monday. And I also do special classes as well. And I break down the astrology so you understand. Someone earlier said, how is this affecting Aries? Well, if you go to the Mercury retrograde class that I'm having this Monday, I'm going to be breaking down how each sign is going to be affected by the Mercury retrograde, so you know specifically how it's going to work with you. You get where I'm coming from? So feel free to check that out. Same thing with the Libra new moon. I always break down sign by sign how you can really break into that energy and push it best forward for yourself when you work on your manifestations and such. So that's what I mostly do in my classes a lot of the time, because I really do like to give an education on that so people can end up living their best lives in that process. Cool. So moving on. That was today, this Saturday, right? So next week, right? Not next week. Skipping ahead. So tomorrow on Sunday, right? We're going to have the sun in Libra making a square over to Jupiter in Capricorn. So what this is doing, right? Where Jupiter in Capricorn is really touching on the aspect, especially with it now direct, touching on the aspect of growing as far as, let's say, like business is concerned. And the sun in Libra is more so trying to relate to other people. So what's happening is that they're squaring off of one another. So you're going to the class is online, by the way. The classes are all on Zoom. Please check out the website. They'll have all the listings down there. You end up ordering one and you get that. There was a new moon yesterday. The new moon is coming up on this Friday. This whole entire live stream is the lead up into the new moon. And I'm going to have a class as well on a new moon where I break it down in depth, just to let y'all know. Cool. So once more. So tomorrow we're having the sun having a square to Jupiter and Capricorn. So it's like we're working on how are we going to push our best business self forward, our best professional self forward, and how are we also going to be able to balance it with the people in our life, with the partnerships that we want to bring in. So having this square off, you're going to be kind of teeter-tottering, figuring out the middle ground between those two energies of you as a professional and you and your personal relationships. And the professional sense wants to grow and the relationships want to grow, but you have to end up finding this middle ground in that process. Hello, everyone in the chat. I know y'all showing love. What's up? So that's going to be coming up for this upcoming Sunday that's happening, right? Moving on, we're going into Monday now, right? Once more, I have a class on Monday on the Mercury retrograde. And it's going to be an interesting one because it's in the sign of Scorpio. I'll break it down briefly in a second when I get to the actual shift. But please check out that class because I'm really going to be trying to give y'all the keys on how to like work through it, because I know it's a scary time for people that don't understand how retrogrades work. So I really want to be able to break that down for you. So please come through to that class. So Monday. On Monday, we have Mercury in Scorpio making its sextile to Venus and Virgo right before it goes retrograde. So the whole idea behind this Mercury in Scorpio making a sextile to Venus and Virgo, once more with Venus and Virgo, is this practical time, right? Mercury in Scorpio is like digging into what do you feel emotionally comfortable making practical within your life. What do you feel emotionally comfortable as far as bringing in new types of health into your life, right? So there's an opportunity on this day to really break into a new sense of health, a new sense of even mental health in a lot of senses. This is a great day for meditation as well, getting you really really tapped into reality in a different sense. That's also going to be happening during this time frame as well. And not only that, but Jupiter is making its sextile to Neptune and Pisces. So not only are we going to be really diving into our minds, finding out this new practical health sense that we can do, we're also going to be launching a new dream forward that we've been working on for a very long time. So whatever dream that you've been having, whatever real aspiration that you've been having that has seemed a little lofty, that people may not have believed in, that you may not even believed in yourself. Hey, 1111, what's up? That you might not even believed in yourself. On this day, that's going to be launching forward, right? And the reason why it's launching forward is because over this Mercury retrograde period, you're going to be making the edits that you need throughout that 3-week time frame to make sure that's perfect by the time Mercury retrograde ends. You get where I'm coming from? So that's the way that like the planets end up shifting and moving. They always kind of prepare you for the next step, and then it makes the shift. And if you prepare properly, golden. If you don't prepare properly, it's still going to happen, but knowing makes it way easier for you to tap in. You get where I'm coming from? So that's something that's going to be happening on this upcoming Monday, right? So Tuesday, when is Mercury retrograde? Mercury retrograde is Tuesday, literally. This is a perfect question at the perfect time, right? So in regards to this, right, having this Mercury in retrograde starting on this Tuesday, like I said, in the class, I'll be breaking this down in depth. I just want to be able to give y'all a little bit so you can understand. Scared of Mercury retrograde? Go to the class. It's nothing to be scared of. You need to know what it's affecting in your life and where it is affecting things in your life. And once you know that, you're able to review, recollect, and revise anything that you may have missed when Mercury was just going normal. So what Mercury retrograde essentially is, to break it down really quickly, is that it's a review period. It's a review time. So sometimes conversations can get a little iffy. Sometimes technology can act a little wonky, but that's because it wants you to slow things down. Like, it's time for you to slow down the thoughts, slow down that rush, slow down that speed, and really get and tap in. And the reason why, especially with this, is because it's Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. And Scorpio being a very deep, intense, and very tapped in sign, that's what's really going to be happening. You're going to be tapping into that. The class is on Monday. Monday on the 12th is the Mercury retrograde class. So check out the House of Intuition page. That's where all the classes are going to be. Also check out the other practitioners that we have as well through House of Intuition, because they're all so amazing and they all have so much to offer. Please check them out. So back to what I was saying. Also on this Tuesday, right, we have the Sun in Libra making its opposition to Mars in Aries. So with this Libra making its opposition to Mars in Aries, retrograde, but what's happening here is that you're essentially learning how to bridge in your feelings of self by bridging in the feelings of others and finding the middle ground. The time for the classes, by the way, is 6 p.m. PST, just to let you all know. So that's the way that those end up working, right? So basically, having a Sun opposition Mars in Aries is like you're really getting into a new sense of how am I going to relate the best of myself to other people, but not compromise myself to find a balance, not compromise myself to find a harmony. So it's going to be a day where those are going to oppose. And the opposition is basically like, the best way to explain opposition is like, let's say like an old school street fight where, you know, back in the day, people would have a street fight and then they'd get over it afterward and they'd be like, all right, it's cool. Like the whole idea behind it is just like really bridging in and making things, having that back and forth in order for things to work out properly, in order for things to really reach a new sense of authenticity. And this is happening as well when Mercury is going retrograde, or stationing technically. For those who know astrology well, it's technically stationing on that day, but that's when the retrograde begins. You get where I'm coming from? So once more, Mercury retrograde, Monday class, I'll explain everything. So please check that out. Now, let's move on to Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, we have the moon in Virgo making its trine over to those good old planets that all went direct. So we're talking Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn once more. And what the moon is doing here, making its trine over to all of those placements, right, is that the moon is making new shifts as far as how you're able to structure your life. So not only just your life as far as things on the physical, but your life as far as things in the internal as well. This is once more a big check on personal health, personal, mental health as well, physical health, spiritual health. All of those kind of themes are going to be playing out during this time frame. And it's great that this is happening the day after retrograde starts, because this is a huge theme that's coming with this retrograde as well. How are you going to tap into your emotions in order for you to restore and renew yourself to become a new version, to become a almost, I always use the Phoenix analogy for Scorpio energy, because there is a huge Phoenix energy as far as having to shed their old layers, or maybe even like a snake skin. A snake skin has to shed its layers in order for it to become a fresher rendition, right? So this whole idea behind this Mercury retrograde is, how are we going to come into a fresher rendition of our own minds, of our own personal feelings, and of our own hearts? And that's really what's coming in with that, especially on that day, making that work over with the, as my friend the peace dealer calls, the gauntlet of all of those placements in Capricorn. So that's what's going to be happening on this upcoming Wednesday, right? Thursday. Let's get into Thursday. Mind you, this is all just the road to the new moon. All of these things that I'm mentioning right now is literally having you build up to the new moon, where then you're able to put out your manifestations. You are able to put out those requests to the universe, and then that's when things start to work as magic. You get where I'm coming from? So Thursday, right? We have the sun in Libra making it square to Pluto in Capricorn, but we're also having the sun in Libra making a trine to the North Node. And for those who don't know what the North Node is, the North Node is the point of destiny. Legitimately, like destiny. That's the whole idea behind the North Node placement, right? So what's happening on this day with the sun making those two aspects is, you're going to have to make transformations as far as how you present yourself. You're going to have to make transformations as far as how you step into your personal authority, how you step into your personal power and your personal truth. And what's happening too is that this is aligning with your destiny. So your destiny as a person, this is happening on a collective level, by the way. But what's happening is destiny is making a shift over, while Pluto in Capricorn is making it square. So it's like your destiny is essentially forcing you to become your greatest self and transform through that with this upcoming new moon in Libra. So it's all kind of working as an accumulative thing, because that's the way that that's going to be going. That's the way that the energies are flowing. That's the way that the energies are making their shifts in that process. So that's going to be upcoming on this Thursday. Now, Friday is the day that we've all been waiting for this whole entire time. One moment, please. Let me allow this to get up here. Perfect. So the moment that we've all been waiting for is coming on this upcoming Friday. I really like how the light ended at that moment, because that's how you know that this is going to be a real shift that happens. Stuff like that don't happen that much. That thing was charged. So with that being said, this is what's really going to be coming through with the new moon in Libra that's happening, right? So The new moon in Libra is shifting our relationships with people, as well as business, as well as romantic relationships, as well as just real understanding of other people, a real understanding of partnership, whether that be just like directly or through business and such like that, right? Now, the whole thing behind this new moon in Libra, please, once more, check out the class that's going on that upcoming Friday. So on the new moon in Libra, I'm having a new moon celebration, which is going to be essentially teaching you how to use this new moon in your best favor based off of your Venus sign, based off of your rising as well. I'll be doing both of those so you can see what ends up working for you as far as this energy is concerned. So basically, it's just going to be you learning, tapping in, and breaking down how you can really make those changes and those differences within that time frame. Now, what's happening on the new moon? I'm going to break it down just a little bit for y'all so you can get a little taste. Then we're going to wrap up the week and talk about a couple more things that are upcoming with House of Intuition. So, now, the new moon in Libra, right? We're having a square over to Pluto in Capricorn. We're also having a square to Saturn in Capricorn. We're having the North Node going and making a trine with Gemini, and we also have Mars and Aries making an opposition. This new moon is super explosive. This new moon was really trying to push forward a very strong energy. And by you knowing what energies are going on, you're going to be able to ride the waves and ride the emotions that are supposed to happen. So the more that you're able to know, the more that you're able to push forward. Now, the reason why this is so important, this new moon is a heavily aspected full moon. And what is it affecting? What are the things that are being triggered through this new moon in Libra? What's being triggered through this new moon in Libra is transformation, deep soul transformation, right? On the other end is going to be Saturn and Capricorn. So we're going to be making a new script on the restrictions that we felt within ourselves, the restrictions that we felt in life in general, right? And we're also going to be doing the North Node in Gemini, which is destiny once more, like I mentioned the other day. That's why it was so important. Destiny is also being afflicted one more time, and Mars in Aries is making its opposition. So it's really about pushing forward who you truly are as a person. So, like I said, this new moon is one to look out for because it's really a powerful time to make these important shifts within yourself to be able to better relate to other people, which is what this Libra season has all been about to begin with. But this is like a new manifestation that's going to be pushing you forward for your next 6 months. Who are the type of people that you want to partner with? What are the type of businesses that you want to partner with? How do you want to be respected in romantic relationships? How do you want to be respected in platonic friendships? How do you want to be perceived by other people while maintaining being yourself in the process? That's what this whole new moon is about. So this road to the new moon as well that I've mentioned within this whole past time frame is exactly what's going to be going on as far as that is concerned. It is a time of new balance. It's a time of new harmony and a new sense of peace within your life as well. So all of these things, like I said, are happening at the same time. So please come to the class so I can explain to you precisely how this is going to be working for your sign, for your Venus sign as well, for your rising sign, whatever ends up applying for you in that process, so you can know how to best utilize it. And we're also going to probably have a few minutes, probably get all of our energies tapped in, and it's going to be a great time. So feel free, check out that houseintuition.com. Once again, the class on the new moon in Libra is going to be on the new moon in Libra time frame. So the new moon in Libra is going to be on the 16th. My class is going to be on the 16th, 6 p.m. PST on Zoom, right? For those of y'all who want to know the Mercury in retrograde survival guide that I'm going to be doing, the Mercury in retrograde survival guide is going to be coming through on this upcoming Monday. And I'm going to be breaking down the Mercury in retrograde. And you know that the Mercury in retrograde is coming because my light went out in this conversation. So feel free to check it out so I can show you and peep you what's really happening as far as everything like that is concerned. Shout out to Janae Aiko. I know this is really random, but I saw that comment, so shout out to her. But anyway, outside of this, right? So let's take a moment to kind of wrap these things up. Let's take the shift real quick. Once more, for anyone who is looking though, I am an astrologer. I'm an astrology teacher here at House Intuition. I'm here every week at the same time to break down the astrology of the week. I also run personal consultations on my website, chadthemaverick.com. Feel free to check that out, find out what you may need, and I'll be able to break down your personal astrology to you in a way where you're able to really take it in, learn your personal astrology, know your energy, and keep pushing forward into your best life as almost a newfound sense of yourself. That's the whole idea behind the readings that I try to give to people, just to give them the education on what they already feel, but so they know that that's their power, trying to tap people into their personal power. So feel free to check those out as well. Okay, wrap up. If you haven't had a Mercury in retrograde candle from House of Intuition, please grab one. Mercury in retrograde candle was the first candle that I've ever done from House of Intuition, and it was like it completely altered my old perceptions on Mercury retrograde because I was able to really see how things were working. I was able to slow down enough to really understand that you're not supposed to rush through things in the process of Mercury retrograde. It was really able to get me into a new form of reflection. So I highly suggest the Mercury in retrograde candle as far as that is concerned. Mind you, Mercury retrograde lasts for 3 weeks. So this is basically like the 3-week review frame of your last 3 months of life, essentially. That's pretty much how the Mercury in Scorpio retrograde essentially works in that process. Now, once more, this week, retrograde. This week, new moon in Libra. We got you covered. We're going to be letting you know about all those things involved. So please check out all the classes, check out our live streams, in the whole nine, right? Now, what's really interesting too, with all of the astrology going on, everything aside, astrology aside, this is really a week to find what is your personal harmony and how do you relate to your personal harmony? How do you relate to your personal self? How do you really tap into your inner peace, your inner balance, your inner truth? How do you take a moment to be still? How do you take a moment to just be there, be present? How do you take that moment? Now, how can you also invite other people into your life that want to take that moment of stillness with you, that want to take that moment of peace, that moment of prosperity? Real things and real manifestations come through the strongest through tranquility. And that's the inner tranquility that you're able to possess, the inner grace that you're able to bring out and relate to other people in conversation, in partnerships, etc. So that's the way that ends up working as far as that is concerned, right? So I really think this is a good time I believe I mentioned meditation beforehand as far as Mercury in Scorpio, but for this upcoming Mercury retrograde, this is a great time to meditate, to recollect, to work on old projects that may not have seen the light of day, work on old themes that you may not have necessarily fully created and utilized. This is a time to work on those things, fully create those, and then be able to utilize those after that 3-week period is over. That's the time frame for you to come out and shine as far as everything that you've learned over the past few months, over the past year, to be honest. 2020 has been absolutely bonkers. But and it's going to still be kind of that way for until the end of the year. So please feel free to check out all the live streams that I do on this platform, because it's definitely going to be putting you in so you know the energies before that happens and you run into that. Any astrology book recommendations? The one astrology book that I have to recommend, because it's a very easy way to do it, it's called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need. It's not the only book you'll ever need, but that's what it's called. And it really does get that together and teach you a lot of things on the astrology in general. So feel free to check those out. It really does good on giving you the basics before you get going with everything else. So thank you all for showing up to this live stream. Once more, I'm going to be going live at the same time next week. Thank you all. Stay beautiful, stay blessed. And until next time, have a great one, everyone. Peace out.